Today in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys the top 3 mistakes I see most, if not all players are making, and are one of the key things that stop you from climbing, as fixing these mistakes is what got me into Masters and will help you climb as well. Now, what's the first thing you notice when you look at this player's OV.GG? First thing that I notice personally is the KDA, and this is what we're going to be working to improve, as a good KDA will inevitably win you games, ideally. Now, that isn't always the case, but we'll get into what really matters, and that would be the CS. So first thing that we want to look at when we're looking at CS is, what are they averaging per game? You know, we got a lot of their games, they're averaging sub 5 CS per minute, and we really got to wonder, you know, even if we're doing good in these games, you know, we got 2-1-4, but we got 5 CS per minute, are we actually carrying? OP.GG says otherwise, you know, 6 plays. We can't really say we're carrying that. The main reason that not farming is bad isn't because, you know, you're getting less gold per se, which you are, and less XP, but it's actually because you're taking more chances and you're taking less safe plays. Now if we go over to LOL Planner here, we'll notice that we have our mid laner backed and the enemy mid laner is missing, to our knowledge. So we're fighting with the enemy jungler here in River, and we may think, hey, enemy mid is gone from mid, we can fight this because they're probably back. Now, although they did back, let's just do simple math here. This is probably 9k gold in total that they have. You have 5k total. We do not have more damage than them, or more tankiness by any means, so we just lose this. That's why when we go, for example, to our bot lane here, and we go to our Krugs, or Red, or Raptors, if Red's not up, we just get more gold for a safer play, where we're not going to get invaded by the enemy jungler or the mid laner. But it's still risky, even though it's the easiest way to get gold, it's still risky. Now, if we go for the 100% play here, let's say all of our camps are up, or even 4 of our camps are up, that's 400 gold that we get. If jungle goes bot, right, our bot lane is not pushed in, or they're not pushed up. There's a very small chance this is actually going to work out, okay? And let's say he does show bot, and it does work out. We get 400 gold, and then we can just go for Rift Herald. Now that we know that bad CS is stunting our growth, let's talk about how we can actually improve our farm and just overall dominate the game. We have our jungler here on the red buff. Let's say we want to gank topside, right? And we just want to get a gank in, and then we just want to go back to farming. This is going to be the optimal route here. We're going to take our red, and then we're going to go up to our Raptors, and then we're just going to walk to our Gromp, take Gromp, and then you can gank. If that gank doesn't work, you can either go to your blue side here, or you can even be risky here if you get Prio in the top lane while ganking. You can go to his Krugs and then just invade. But basically, you get the premise here, right? We get the push in top lane, we go for more farm. We don't go for a kill on the red, we go for farm. It's the second mistake here, and that's the control wards. We have literally almost every game 0, 0, 0, 0. This is just a mistake. Come on, guys. Like, we know what's wrong with this, but let's go more in depth about it. Now, when we see 0 control words, we don't really think much about it. We just say, this person doesn't buy control words. But let's look deeper into it, right? If we have 0 control words here, we can probably assume that they're actually not warding in general. Right here, he has 8 wards and killed 1 ward, which isn't terrible at all. And we do have 0 wards, control words still. So, I mean, he's getting vision down. Now let's check this game. 9 wards, he's still getting vision. But let's look at his wins actually. We'll notice when he's losing more, he actually puts down more vision. That's weird, right? You know, he wins this one, he puts down 3 wards. He wins this one, puts down 4. And he literally zeroed this one. To be fair, it was a 6-minute game, but you should still have 1 vision score in at least 6 minutes. And at least 3, honestly. Now I know you're wondering, what can we actually do with this information? We know that he's putting down words when he's losing, but he's not putting down words when he's winning. Well, here's the main thing that words are even used for. Let's take an example that our boss tells us we have to watch 3 rooms at the same time, right? And he says, hey, don't let anything happen in these 3 rooms. Can we actually, if he doesn't give us security camera footage, can we watch all 3 rooms at once? No, we can't. So essentially, you want to think of wards like a security cam footage. We want to think, okay, can we run from top to bot with no wards or no warning, no, we can't make it there in time if Jarvan already shows up, per se. Now this is what I would argue is actually the most important thing about wards, right? When you think of wards, you think about getting vision on the enemy. And yeah, that's good. It gathers information for us. It tells us where the jungler is, where the enemy is. But let's think of it in a bigger picture. What can we do with that information? We can actually think of what they're going to do next, and we can prepare for that. We can become proactive, not reactive. We're actually going to cut here to a trick that I learned when I first started playing League, and let me tell you, this thing helped me climb so quickly. I call it the 55-second ward. This is how you do it. Now that we got warding down and getting good CS down, we have a good idea of what we can improve and how to reduce our kills or our deaths and just overall increase our gameplay to make it more optimal and just safer. Now learning this basic trick right here will really improve your losses, and it will make it so you have a much higher win rate just because you're not losing as much or even as hard. We'll take this game into example because I think it's a prime example of just how you should really lose a game. And granted, you probably shouldn't lose a game like this, but you know, he has 4 kills, 3 deaths, 7 takedowns. You know, we add this up, it's roughly like 3.5 deaths per, or 3.5 takedowns per death, which is an amazing trade. That's 900 gold for the enemy's 300 that they get. I'd consider that really worth it. Now here's where he really loses the game though, right? I mean, look, 4 level difference. What do we notice is the main thing here? It's not really the takedowns. Granted, yeah, he has more takedowns in general, but it's mainly the CS. Like, look at it's a 100 CS gap, basically. 100 CS is basically 2,000 gold. Imagine how much that screws you over if you're not CSing, especially when behind. The main thing, when you're behind, you can't force a play. Like, do we want to play for, let's say, a 0-5 Kaisa and a 0-7 Rel? No, we don't, right? They don't have any gold compared to these two. Now, what if we don't have what if every lane is losing here, right? We just farm. We farm, and when we can, we trade for an objective, right? We have a control ward on Dragon. We see Udyr clears that control ward. We go to Rift if we're topside, and we try to take Rift. And we do vice versa. Now another game I would really consider this guy to have just, he shouldn't have really lost it, is this game right here, 6, 12, and 13. Now I understand how he lost it. The enemy has really good scaling, especially as they snowball, which it looks like they did here, honestly. But in this game, he actually has more KP than the enemy jungler, and he still has a 2-level gap on him. But let's look at how, right? We're going to notice some common things here. CS, 3.1 CS, 5.1 CS. 100 CS difference, or not even. So this guy probably lost out on about 1.4k gold. And that would have put him ahead of the enemy jungler, actually. That's the insane thing. He wouldn't have even been behind losing if he just farmed more. If he had 100, 5 CS per minute, or 6 CS per minute, where he had the same amount of CS as him, he would have had more gold. Now, if what I'm saying isn't quite clicking with you, basically what I'm saying is if you can't win early, you want to farm early, because no one's going to stop you from doing that for the most part. And if you farm early, that will lead to you staying in the late game at least, because you'll be the same level as your laner ideally, and if you're not, you're still on the same gold level if they're not super snowballing. Now overall, we can conclude that what's really holding us back is 1, not getting above 5 CS per minute consistently. That's the main thing, because that 5 CS consistency, that's really going to skyrocket you if you go even higher to like 6 CS per minute. Number 2, not buying control wards and placing vision will definitely screw you over, because you're just not putting vision, or you're not putting information into your head, right? You want to have as much information as you can, so you can make as much calculations as you can with accuracy. And 3, and definitely not last, is knowing how to play from behind, because if you do this, if you can play from behind and ahead, you're basically going to shoot your win rate up like 10% at least, because you know how to not lose. Thank you for watching. If you liked, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And also, if you want to watch more videos on improving playing Xin Zhao, I'm going to be posting a lot more, and their quality is only going to go higher. So make sure you click on the videos at the end of this video that pop up, and I'm sure you'll learn a lot more.